The moment you need her, she's already gone. Think about that. Replay it in your mind. Not physically gone, but emotionally, mentally, soulfully, already slipping away? You don't gain power over a woman by chasing her, impressing her, or proving you're good enough. That's not how it works. You gain it the moment you realize you don't need her to be whole. The second you stop chasing validation and start standing firm in your own worth, that's when everything shifts. What if, just what if, everything you've ever been told about women was built to make you weak, to make you obedient, submissive, software, and they wrapped it all up in a pretty bow and called it love? This video isn't for the man who's comfortable. It's for the one who's fed up, tired of being the invisible option, tired of giving more than he ever receives, tired of jumping through hoops, tap dancing for attention, only to be ghosted, ignored, or left behind. This is your wake-up call. And if you're still here, type it in the comments right now. I choose power. Because here's the truth. She doesn't crave the man who needs her. She craves the man who could walk away, mid-sentence, and never look back if the respect is gone. Not the guy who double texts at 2 a.m. Not the one who cries when she says, "I just need space." She wants the man whose presence demands respect, and whose silence speaks louder than his words ever could. You've been taught wrong. Programmed since day one. Be nice. Be sweet. Be soft. Happy wife. Happy life, right? They told you to open up, spill your feelings, put her on a pedestal, and sacrifice your soul at the altar of her approval. But ask yourself this. Did it ever make her love you more? Or did she start pulling away the moment you became too available, too emotional, too easy? Here's the secret. Power doesn't scream. It whispers. And respect, it's never begged for. It's earned. That kind of deep, lasting love you're craving, it only comes when you love yourself more than you'll ever love her. Not in a selfish way, in a powerful, grounded, unshakable way. In this video, I'm not teaching manipulation. I'm showing you how to become the kind of man she can't look away from, not because you forced her to follow, but because she wants to. Step 1, stop needing her. The moment she feels your need is stronger than your self-respect, you've already lost. That's not poetry. That's psychological law. The second your words, your time, your energy start orbiting around her approval, you shrink in her eyes. She doesn't need to say anything. She feels it. In the way your voice trembles, in the way your texts come instantly, in how you cancel your plans the moment she calls. You hand her your power like it's worthless. And when you do that, you stop being a man. You become an accessory, a comfort object, something she can shelf, pick up, or toss aside at will. Not because she's cruel, but because you trained her to treat you that way. A woman can't love a man who isn't leading himself. If you chase her like a lost boy, hoping she'll give you your worth, you'll destroy the very thing she once admired. In the last part, you learned a simple but powerful truth. The moment you need her, you lose your power. Now let's go deeper, not into what you're doing, but into what you're feeling, into the silent, invisible force that's been sabotaging your strength from within. What you think is love. Texting her all day, asking her opinion before every decision, waiting anxiously by the phone for her to respond. That's not love. That's dependency in disguise. And dependency is the death of desire. It whispers to her, "I have no life without you." But that doesn't pull her closer. It makes her feel trapped. She didn't walk into your world to carry you like dead weight. She came because she saw something burning inside you, because you had a presence that spoke louder than words, because you had something bigger than her, a mission, a path, a vision. But now, you've made her your mission. You've become emotionally homeless, trying to live inside her approval. That's not strength. That's emotional suicide. If you want her to feel drawn to you like gravity, you have to become untouchable. In the best way. Not cold, not harsh, but unshakably solid. She has to know that if she disappears tomorrow, your life won't collapse. It will go on calm, focused, and fully intact. That's where real attraction lives, in certainty, in direction, in the grounded power of a man who chooses, not chases. To stop needing her, you must rebuild your internal world from the ground up. Start by pulling your energy away from her and pouring it back into yourself, like your future depends on it, because it does. Stop checking if she saw your story. Stop rereading her messages, hunting for hidden clues. Stop treating her silence like it's some kind of emotional emergency. Every second you spend analyzing her is a second stolen from your own growth. Become obsessed, but not with her. Become obsessed with becoming undeniable, so capable, so grounded, so emotionally disciplined that you walk into a room and shift the entire vibe without speaking. Wake up before the sun, sweat, push yourself to your physical and mental edge until your body aches and your excuses shatter. Pick up the books that rewire your mindset, Stoicism, strategy, psychology. Read until your eyes blur. Cut the distractions. Cut the men who gossip. Cut the women who drain your focus. Build your vision like you're building an empire, because you are. Track your habits like your legacy depends on it, because it does. And above all, choose to suffer. Discipline yourself so deeply that pain becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Because a man who can sit in discomfort without losing himself, that's the man no woman can break. He is the rock, the frame, the standard she respects, even when she disagrees. She won't always say it, but deep down, she's craving him. The man who doesn't flinch when she pulls away, the one who doesn't chase when she tests him, the one who says no and means it, not to hurt her, but because he's not afraid to lose her. You become that man by reclaiming every part of yourself you gave away for her attention. The fake laughter when you weren't amused. The apologies you offered when you weren't wrong. The energy you wasted explaining yourself to someone who had already made up her mind. Take it all back. Stop needing her. Start needing your own self-respect more than her affection. Because when you do that, when you shift your priority from being loved to becoming powerful, she'll feel it. She may not say it, but her behavior will change. She'll reply faster. She'll show up softer. She'll surrender, not because you forced her, but because your presence made her feel safe. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming whole. About realizing that real love can never grow in the soil of insecurity. You've begun reclaiming your power by shifting your focus from needing her to building yourself. But here's the truth. That transformation doesn't stop on the outside. The next step is deeper. It's about becoming unshakable from within. You must become so rooted in who you are that even if the entire world turns its back on you, you remain standing, not flinching, not broken, just still. Because if you wake up each morning needing her to complete you, you'll always walk through life as half a man. But if you build yourself brick by brick, habit by habit, until your presence alone demands silence when you enter a room, you won't need to chase anyone. Because the things, people, and opportunities worth your time, they'll start chasing you. That's how you gain power over a woman, not by holding her tight, but by holding yourself together. Not by constantly proving you're worthy, but by becoming so valuable, so unshakably whole, that you don't even need to explain your worth anymore. Don't text her, text your future. Don't sit by the phone waiting for her to call. Answer your mission. Don't beg to be chosen. Choose yourself so fully, so relentlessly, that she has no choice but to feel your pull. She doesn't want to save you. She wants to rise beside you. She wants to look at you and feel inspired, not weighed down. And she can't do that if you keep showing up like a man who's always checking her emotional weather before making a move. Stop tiptoeing around. Stop walking on eggshells. Start walking with purpose. When she sees you stand in your truth, even when it rattles the room, that's when she starts to trust you. And if she doesn't, let her walk. You're not here to convince her. You're here to become the kind of man who never begs for a seat at someone else's table. He builds his own. Cut the noise. Unfollow her. Mute her stories. Stop circling her world, hoping she'll notice your orbit. Disappear into your evolution. Work so silently, so deeply that by the time she sees you again, you're unrecognizable. Not out of bitterness, but out of growth. Out of becoming the man who never needed her validation in the first place. Rewire your thinking. Remind yourself daily, her love is not your oxygen. Your purpose is. That's where real masculinity lives. In direction, in clarity, in knowing where you're going without waiting for anyone's permission. Become the man who leads his life so powerfully that she either levels up to join you or gets left behind without you even slowing down. That energy, that's unforgettable. That's the man she can't stop thinking about. That is power, not domination, but undeniability. In your path, your presence, and your peace. Number 2, master your mind. Because here's the secret. She only truly trusts the man who trusts himself. She only follows the one who walks with calm direction, even in chaos. You don't earn her respect by trying to control her. You earn it by conquering the battlefield within. The war isn't between you and her. It's between you and your reactions, between your ego and your discipline, between your emotions and your mission. If you fall apart every time she pulls away, if you crumble when she's cold, if your whole mood shifts just because she left you on red, then you've handed over your most powerful weapon, your internal stability. You have to build a mind that cannot be swayed by her approval, a mindset that cannot be bought by beauty nor broken by rejection. Most men don't lose because they're unattractive. They don't lose because they lack value. They lose because they can't lead themselves. They panic when she tests them. They collapse when she grows distant. They fold when she challenges their direction. But what they fail to see is this. She's not doing it to hurt them. She's doing it to see them, to find out if the man standing in front of her is real or just a performance, a mask held up by fragile emotions. You want to win her? Then stop performing. Stop reacting. Stop living on emotional autopilot. Sharpen your awareness like a warrior sharpens his blade. Watch your thoughts, don't obey them. Hear your doubts, don't kneel to them. When she says something that challenges your ego, pause, breathe. Respond like a man who doesn't need to prove anything. And when she pulls away emotionally, don't chase, hold your frame. Let her return to the gravity you've built. In the previous part, we talked about mastering your mind, about staying grounded when she tests you emotionally. But now comes something even more important. She's watching. Not what you say, but how you hold your center when everything gets shaky. What she's truly paying attention to isn't your sweet words or compliments. She's quietly watching to see if your inner core can be shaken. And that, you can't fake it. Either you've built that strength within you, or you haven't. If you want to become the kind of man she truly respects and desires, you must start by killing the boy who reacts. Stop giving in to every fear, every impulse, every emotion urging you to act on weakness. Don't send the angry message. Don't triple text when she leaves you on red. Don't explain your worth when she questions it. Hold still, because stillness is the mark of real power. Reaction? That's just weakness dressed in urgency. If she knows you'll react, she knows she can pull your strings like a puppet. But when you remain grounded, even in discomfort, pain, or confusion, when you let the chaos pass through you like wind through stone, that's when she leans in. Because deep down, she's not looking for perfection. She's looking for something rare. A man who doesn't lose himself. A man who doesn't flinch from discomfort. A man who can face rejection, conflict, or challenge, and still walk forward, steady, unshaken. This kind of man is not born. He is forged, built in silence, in repetition, in suffering. He is shaped every time you wake up and hit the gym, even when your body screams for rest, because you know a strong body forges a disciplined mind. You build him when you meditate, breathe through reactions, journal your thoughts, and refuse to be ruled by them. You shape him when you read philosophy, absorb truth, and apply it, until your inner world becomes so ordered, she can feel your presence without a word. You strengthen him when you delay gratification, when you stare temptation in the face and walk away unmoved. Mastering your mind isn't just about being stoic. It's about becoming a man who is harder to move than the chaos around him. It's about showing her, not telling her, that she's not your compass. You are. Your values are your anchor. Your mission is your direction. Your emotions are signals, not commands. Learn to feel without reacting. Learn to experience without attaching. The man who can sit in the storm and smile, he's the one who owns the room. Because there is nothing more magnetic to a woman than a man she cannot rattle. Not because he's arrogant, but because he's centered, grounded, clear. That clarity draws her. That presence holds her. That strength makes her feel safe enough to be soft. And it all starts with your daily choice. Discipline over emotional slavery. Every time you skip the gym, you weaken your will. Every time you avoid discomfort, you feed the boy inside who cries for ease and comfort. Starve that boy. Feed the warrior. You're not here to be emotionally available to chaos. You're here to lead. In leadership, it starts within. She cannot follow you if you can't even keep your word to yourself. Speak less, move more. Create a code of values and live by it, no exceptions. Make your mornings sacred. Make your words few and your actions loud. Refuse to argue, refuse to defend, refuse to react. You're not here to convince her. You're here to become the man who doesn't need convincing. And when she sees that, when she feels your energy remain calm while the world around you spins, she won't pull away. She'll pull closer, because you've become the lighthouse in her storm, the steady presence that reminds her what it means to be led. Not through force, but through clarity. Not through aggression, but through certainty. When you become the lighthouse in the middle of her emotional storm, you don't need to say anything. Your calm presence alone invites her to follow. And to sustain that influence, you must master one crucial thing: your frame. That's how you gain true power with a woman. Not by dominating her, but by having such full control over yourself that she willingly chooses to follow your lead. Not because you asked for it, but because you've earned it. Master your mind, and your presence will leave a mark on her soul that she can't forget. True strength is revealed in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when your messages go unanswered, when you feel the urge to prove your worth, and instead you choose silence. When temptation tells you to chase, but you stay still. When every part of you wants to be seen, but you walk away, unnoticed yet unfazed. That's when you become untouchable. She doesn't need a man who reacts to her. She needs one who can lead her through the storm without losing his balance. And you don't become that man just by reading quotes or watching motivational content. You become him by creating daily rituals that align your actions with your values. You build non-negotiables into your life. You train daily. You wake up before she does. You grind while she sleeps. You lead yourself so consistently that your life becomes a magnet. And when she returns, when she sees your stillness never wavered, she won't question you again. Because stillness like that changes everything. She doesn't want to mother you, she wants to mirror you. And what does the mirror reflect? Strength, discipline, clarity. That's what she responds to. So build it, quietly, daily, relentlessly. Part 3, control the frame. If you don't own the frame, you don't really exist in her world. You're just orbiting hers. She doesn't follow a man who bends. She doesn't trust the man who compromises his values just to keep her. She needs to know whether you stand on something real or if your beliefs are built on sand. Every time you surrender something important to gain approval, she loses another layer of respect for you. It's not about what you say, it's about what you're willing to fold on. The frame isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling your own direction. A man who holds his frame doesn't need to raise his voice. His actions are loud enough. His silence echoes with clarity. She feels the difference between a man who leads and one who negotiates away his integrity just to please. She may not say it aloud, but she notices when you stop calling out disrespect. She watches when you start tolerating what you once stood against. She stores it away, not because she's cruel, but because biologically she needs to feel safe. And safety comes from certainty. And certainty is born from your willingness to walk alone when your path demands it. Frame is not arrogance, it is awareness. It's the discipline of holding your line even under emotional pressure. When she tests you with attitude, silence, or distance, she's asking a question without words. Are you still the man you said you were? The moment you adjust your energy to avoid conflict, you lose. The moment you over-explain, justify poor behavior, or rationalize betrayal, you're done. You can't command respect from the posture of apology when you've done nothing wrong. If you haven't betrayed your values, you owe no explanation. Holding the frame means you understand your beliefs deeply, and they are not for sale, not even for the woman you love. You don't explain your boundaries, you enforce them. You don't beg her to understand your worth. You live it so fully it becomes undeniable. She won't fall for your flexibility. She falls for your groundedness. The man who can say no with calm energy changes everything. It shocks her because so few men can say no without anger or insecurity. But when you say it with clarity and calm confidence, she leans in. Frame is knowing that you are the chooser, not the applicant. She's entering your world, not the other way around. If you dilute your identity to accommodate her, you become forgettable. Holding frame means knowing what you want and never betraying that. If you say you don't tolerate lateness, don't tolerate it. If cheating is a deal breaker, don't negotiate. If your mission comes first, don't trade it for comfort. She'll test your frame, not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to know, is it real? And every time you hold it firm, her respect for you deepens. But if you fold even once, you begin to die in her eyes. Frame is built not through dominance, but through direction. You must be so certain of your path that she either joins it or watches you walk it without her. You're not here to adapt to her chaos. You're here to invite her into your order. And if she can't join, you let her go, not with resentment, but with peace, because the man who knows his path also knows. Not everyone is meant to walk it with him. You must audit your life like a king audits his court. Who adds to your empire? Who drains it? Who respects the throne? And who undermines it when your back is turned? You don't beg anyone to stay. You build yourself up so powerfully that their absence is their loss, not yours. This is the frame. You don't bend your world to be liked. You build it so strongly that only the aligned remain. And when she sees that, when she feels you are unmoved by her threats to leave, her coldness, her manipulation, that's when she softens. That's when she follows. When you hold your frame, your principles, your vision, your direction, she doesn't walk away. She senses clarity and stability in you. And that's when something remarkable happens. That's the moment she begins to surrender, not to weakness, but to the presence of a man who cannot be bent by emotion or seduced by comfort. This isn't coldness, this is strength, and it's this very strength that finally allows her to rest. Because the truth is, she doesn't want to lead. What she truly longs for is to feel your clarity, to trust in your steady foundation, and to lean into your unwavering presence without fear that it might collapse. But that trust, it doesn't come for free. It begins the moment you decide your frame, your values, your vision, your mission must come before her ever-shifting moods. Love her fully, absolutely, but never above the principles that define your life. Because the second you place her above your purpose, she loses the compass she was counting on you to hold. You lead by being unshaken. And that leadership, it isn't loud, it's felt in your tone, in your silence, in your truth. When you embody it, her only decision becomes, do I align with this or do I walk away? Either way, you remain grounded. That's frame. That's real power. Part 4, lead without chasing. A man who truly leads does not chase. He builds a world so complete, she naturally wants to be a part of it. Leadership doesn't mean pursuit, it means presence. She doesn't follow the man who constantly tries to persuade her, who explains himself endlessly, or showers her with gifts hoping she'll stay. She follows the man who walks forward with such unwavering direction that her instincts say, either I align with this or I get left behind. When you chase, you hand her the script. You ask her to direct, to decide, to lead. And over time, she resents that, even if she can't quite explain why. Chasing isn't noble. It's an admission of lack. It says, I don't fully believe in my worth, so I need your validation to feel whole. But what happens when you turn that validation inward? What happens when you stop chasing her and start chasing your own greatness? That's when she finally sees you, because real attraction begins where desperation ends. She doesn't need to be overwhelmed. She needs to be inspired. And inspiration, it comes from motion. Build your life so powerfully that your mere presence feels like gravity. Not the man who boasts about his strength, but the one whose quiet entry into a room says everything. The one who speaks without needing approval. The one who prioritizes purpose over attention. Your discipline is your magnet, your silence, your allure. Your path is your invitation. If she can't see it, then she's simply not ready. And you don't slow down for the unready. You keep building. You become more dangerous, more grounded, more capable. You chase mastery, not women. You refine your skill until people pay you just to think. You shape your body into a symbol of control and strength. You grow a network so powerful that your name alone opens doors she doesn't even know exist. And through it all, you remain kind, but detached, loving, but unmovable. You don't chase because what's meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself to get it. She must understand that your time is earned, not owed. That your energy isn't just available, it's sacred. You're not here to entertain. You're here to evolve. And if she's the right woman, she'll feel safe in that. Because the man who leads without chasing creates an atmosphere of trust. He is so rooted in self-worth that his love doesn't beg, it invites. And that kind of invitation, she knows it's rare. When you stop chasing and start leading yourself, something powerful happens. She realizes that what she's always been searching for wasn't pursuit, but leadership. She knows she can't manipulate that kind of presence. She can't twist it or pull it down to match her emotions. Her only choice is to rise to meet it. And that's when her respect is born. Not for the man who sends endless texts, not for the one who over-explains himself, but for the man who moves in silence. Because his path speaks louder than words ever could. You become that man by removing every behavior that says, please pick me, and replacing it with a life so grounded that even if she left, nothing inside you would collapse. You lead without chasing. You become a man who needs nothing, yet adds value to everything. You bring peace, not chaos, clarity, not confusion, direction, not delay. This kind of presence can't be faked. It must be forged. In early mornings, no one sees. In silent reps, no one counts. In quiet reflection, no one hears. You lead by focusing so fully on who you're becoming, you forget to wonder if she's watching. But she is. Watching how you respond when she pulls away, how you act when attention fades, how you move when you're alone. That's when true leadership is revealed. And when you prove that your value was never in the chase, but in your unwavering presence, you'll feel the shift. Her energy softens. Her voice grows warmer. She initiates more. She leans in. Not because you chased, but because you led. And in that moment, you reclaim your throne, not above her, but ahead of her, where you were always meant to be. You weren't born to chase approval, not made to beg for love or permission. You're not here to shrink yourself to fit in. You're here to shape the world, to command space without shouting, to walk into every room with clarity in your eyes and calm in your heart. When you stop trying to be liked and start building the kind of man who is respected in silence, Your life transforms. Women feel it. Opportunities feel it. The world bends to the man who bends for no one. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to keep growing. Stop waiting for someone to notice your worth. Be the man who doesn't need to say it because it shows. Leadership begins when excuses end. Confidence begins the moment you act despite fear. Power begins when you never fold on your values again. You are not lost, not broken. You're buried beneath comfort, distraction, and fear. Now it's time to burn that all down. To rise, to become unrecognizable. Not for her, not for the world, but for you. For the man you see when no one's looking. For the version of you who never settles, never begs, never apologizes for choosing the road few dare to walk. This is your life, your story. Write it like you mean it. If this woke something up inside you, don't let the fire go cold. Like, subscribe. Not just for the algorithm, but to get this message into the hands of the silent, the lost, the men still chasing approval in a world that forgot what true strength looks like. Share this with a brother who needs it. And if you're ready to step into the fire, drop a comment below that says, "I'm building myself." You didn't come here for entertainment. You came to become the man you were born to be.